The continuous invasion of Ukraine continues to make headlines around the world, particularly in the media. Another war, on the other side, is taking place to ensure that Ukraine gets internet access. You are about to view a film that will inform you about the armed conflict between Ukraine and Russia. You'll also learn about the newest news on Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, and his plans to use technology to save Ukraine from Russia. Welcome to Tech Sector. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon, since we're your go-to source for all things Elon Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX. Keep an eye out and have fun. For a long time, Ukrainian and Russian troops have been fighting for control of important cities. A separate battle is being waged to ensure that Ukraine gets complete internet connectivity. Web traffic has plummeted across Ukraine, notably in locations with the most intense Russian military presence, according to NetBlocks, an internet monitoring company. Because a big portion of the population has already fled Ukraine, just a few people may use the internet services there right now. The Russian army, according to the report, has been damaging Ukraine's digital infrastructure. The minister of Ukraine's government has issued a public request to Tesla's CEO Elon Musk. As a result, Elon Musk announced on Saturday, February 26, that his satellite internet company, Starlink, will expand its services to Ukraine. Starlink employs low Earth orbit satellites to deliver internet connectivity to areas where there are no operational web infrastructures, such as fiber optic cables or cell towers. Starlink's creator, SpaceX, recently announced the debut of a new price plan that boosts data transfer speeds from 150 to 500 megabits per second. The typical tariff's speed ranges from 50 to 250 megabits per second. SpaceX now has a network of over 2,000 satellites in orbit. As a result, Elon Musk's firm is the world's largest satellite operator. SpaceX considers Starlink to be a critical source of funding in the next years. The initiative is expected to generate $30 billion in income each year by 2025, according to the business. Starlink requires the use of satellite dishes known as terminals in order to connect to the internet. Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX, also promised to provide terminals to Ukraine to help with internet issues, but he did not say how many, when, or how many would be delivered. Fortunately for Ukrainians, even if Russia gains complete control of their country, they will not be completely reliant on Musk to supply internet connection. Did you know that Ukraine has a large physical infrastructure for internet access that is shared by a number of independent internet providers with various links outside of Ukraine? Unlike Cuba, which created nationwide internet blackouts in response to the protests in July, there is not a single checkpoint in Ukraine's web infrastructure that a repressive government could use to immediately turn off internet access, says Doug Midori, director of internet analysis at network surveillance company Cantic Technologies. The situation in Ukraine is far more complicated than it is in Cuba. Internet filtering is not new in Ukraine, Midori added. If Russia succeeds in seizing control of Ukraine, the Kremlin-backed administration may attempt to suppress the internet by keeping it operational. Since 2017, the Ukrainian government has been restricting the internet. Then, in 2020, President Petro Poroshenko banned Russian social media networks VKontakte and Odnoklassniki, as well as the email service mail.ru and the Yandex search engine, citing national security Roscosmos. As a result, around 190,000 internet resources were prohibited by the government. Since March 2018, the Federal Bailiff Service has gained the ability to extrajudicial blocking. At the same time, the country passed a law prohibiting access to information-rich websites, putting residents' respect, dignity, and commercial reputation in jeopardy. In the recent past, Russia has blocked 3 Ukrainian media sites: Correspondent.net, Ukrainska Pravda, and Dmitry Gordon's website. Roscosmos recently sent a notice to Russian media requesting that fake news on the operation in Ukraine be removed. 3 Ukrainian news sites have been added to the list of blacklisted websites by the Prosecutor General's office. These websites have already been highlighted. In addition, the media has blacklisted a website that has been identified as a foreign agent at this time. The Ukrainian government requested that Google prohibit downloads of the applicant for the Russian state media company RT on Ukrainian soil on Sunday, February 27. In Ukraine, the RT News app is no longer available to download via Google Play. This step means that new users in Ukraine will not be able to download the RT News app, a Google spokeswoman stated on Sunday. Current users can still use it, but they will no longer receive updates from RT. On Saturday, Google announced that RT and other news organizations will no longer be able to receive money for advertising on its websites, applications, or YouTube videos. Following the invasion of Ukraine, Facebook made some actions as well. Targeted bans can make it difficult for ordinary people to access certain websites, while there may be other options available. We need you to recognize that tech-savvy citizens and activists will always find ways to avoid censorship by using VPNs and communicating through encrypted messaging apps. As a result, Ukrainians can search for information on the internet without fear of being censored. They can also share information about their conditions with people in other nations. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is tragic and cruel. Elon Musk, on the other hand, has demonstrated his kind side to Ukrainians by his actions. On Twitter, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Mikhail Fedorov addressed Elon Musk. He made his plea on Ukraine's official Twitter account, pleading for help. The CEO of SpaceX has granted Ukraine access to the Starlink satellite internet systems terminals. On his Twitter account, SpaceX's CEO announced the deployment of additional Starlink terminals to Ukraine. They'll be set free. Of course, not everyone will be able to connect to the network through satellite, but Starlink will assist to alleviate the problem in part. The Starlink service is now live in Ukraine, and additional terminals are on the way, Elon Musk responded. Musk, we believe, deserves to win the Man of the Year award for his humanitarian efforts. Elon Musk has shown genuine support for Ukraine, and he is doing everything he can to help Ukrainians cope with the conflict. President-elect Joe Biden of the United States threatened to impose sanctions to prevent Russia from importing more high-tech goods. We're talking about limitations on Russia's space program. This will have a negative impact on their ability to modernize the military. The aerospace industry, including the space program, will suffer as a result, according to the US president. The US president went on to say that this would hurt Russia's capacity to compete economically. This will be a huge setback to Russian President Vladimir Putin's long-term geopolitical goals, Biden warned. The head of Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin, has expressed his discontent with the US sanctions. Who will save the ISS from an uncontrolled descent from orbit and plummeting onto US territory if you refuse to cooperate with us? Roscosmos head wondered. The sanctions imposed, which also harm the space sector, Rogozin says, may have a severe impact on the future security of the International Space Station, ISS. Do you wish to sabotage our ISS collaboration? So you're already doing it by restricting communication between our cosmonaut and astronaut training centers. Do you want to run the ISS on your own? According to Russian media, Rogozin stated that President Biden is not on the matter. Thus, he explained to him during the station's orbit correction, the station's avoidance of dangerous approaches to space trash, with which your talented businessmen have abandoned the near-Earth orbit, is carried out solely by the engines of Russian Progress Mississippi cargo ships. Rogozin also stated that if the US refused to cooperate with them, who would save the ISS from an uncontrolled descent from orbit and landing on US soil, the head of the Russian state business, or the Russian president? What's more, guess what? Elon Musk responded quickly to the queries. What was his response? He only shared the logo of SpaceX, a private space exploration corporation that he founded from the bottom up. Did you know that between 2011 and 2016, Roscosmos was the world leader in civilian launches? When Elon Musk's company first appeared on the market, though, things were different. Let's start with the potential for space tourism and work our way to SpaceX, which is gradually displacing Roscosmos as the primary space contractor. Furthermore, Given SpaceX's accomplishments in less than 20 years since its founding, the ISS may become outdated. Musk was refused two of Roscosmos rockets because the Russian company demanded a higher fee at the time. Musk learned how much it would cost him to build a rocket in principle on his way back to the plane. After that, he learned that if he constructed things himself, he could slash the cost of space voyages by tenfold. Musk, who had no prior expertise building rockets or spaceships, founded and developed a corporation from the ground up, of which he is the principal engineer. Regardless, he built a prospective crewed spacecraft faster than Roscosmos could. Despite the fact that the latter began constructing the Federation even before SpaceX's Crew Dragon.